Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yuhi Kirenga Albert. Welcome to Faith Nation Podcast. Today I am sitting here with an artist, the music minister, the worshipper. See, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
How are you doing?
Well, I thank God. He's very faithful. I feel good. I feel happy. I feel wonderful. No recycles in my life.
No recycles in your life. Talking of recycles, huh? Hey, you have given us a new track.
Yes, sir.
So I feel like I want to ask you, why Penzy?
Why Penzy? Well, first of all, she's a friend, very good friend, but second of all, she's. I wanted to do the song with a young person, fellow youth, because I felt the message needs to be so much directed to the youth more than anybody else. But third is that Emmeline is part of the young people in Rwanda, in the gospel artists that are trying to do something unique. Mm-hmm. I love the message, talk about Jesus, but I also like the uniqueness. I love the way we bring our art to life. And so I think I like what she's doing. So it's really like collaborating and bringing the energy together to do something that young people are going to relate with and also hear the message even in a more relatable way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone may be saying, these guys, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Cycles.
Yes.
So maybe people who don't know you, like, would you please introduce yourself, for people to know you, who is C?
All right. So C Music, which is SEEMUZIK, right, is I was born in Rwanda, called Patrick Cyuzuzo. Yes, born in Butare, and raised in Butare. Well, I've graduated in university, mass media and communication. I go to New Life Bible Church.
Yes.
I'm a music minister. I'm a worshiper. What else? What else do I say? Youth transformation is the center of what I do, and mental health.
Yes.
So my music, the art, what I do is really to send out a message of hope to the hopeless, and the ultimate solution is Jesus. So I ain't giving you any other strategy. I'm not a therapist. I'm giving you Jesus as the actual therapist because he's the actual one. So that is me. That is what I do. And I love people. I love food. Yeah. I love food. Yeah.
I really don't love food. I really don't.
Get food, man. Food is good.
Sometimes it's even hard. When someone asks me, which is your favorite dish? I really don't know.
You don't?
I really don't have one.
Well, unfortunately, I also don't have a favorite one. I just love good food.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I just love good food. Yeah, so, and I love the gospel. I love people, man. It's, yeah.
Talking of the music artists.
Yes.
Do you take yourself as a music artist or a messenger?
No, I take myself as a music artist. Yes, I understand the two differences.
Yes.
So to me, as a artist is creation, right? Art is the idea of bringing up something new, giving it a meaning, giving it a certain story. And to me, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing storytelling, right? I think if you've seen me worship and lead in the church, I do worship. That's what we're called to do, to worship God. So when I go into the studio, I'm not going to do worship. I'm going to do art and input the message of Christ in the art so that I can be able to tell the story of Christ. I can be able to tell the story of Christ's redemption and redempting the world and just giving us life. So I consider myself an artist more than just to be particularly a messenger.
When did this thing of artist come?
So first off, I've grown up in a music environment since I was probably 5, 6, 7, but I don't know how I found myself because that time I was a dancer. I was doing traditional dance, right? And then 2009, God opened some doors, and then I got into a children's choir, and we started singing in the choir. And then after that, in 2016, in high school, I told myself, you know what? I'm skipping school to go to a studio. So I skipped school to go to find a studio to record a song. I had written a song, Yitwaga Ubumwe. Yes, Unity. It was also a mix of languages, English and Kinyarwanda. And since then, I think I just did this thing of artists, and I, found myself here.
Talking of mixing the languages, is there any mystery? Is there any trick there? Is there any? Is it how you're led? Is it how you're calling? Because many people don't do that. But I feel like these days it's now coming in the industry.
Well, Nigerians did this first, But it's actually so. I used to do my songs a lot of English.
Yes.
But I had so many people who listen to my music and they're like, we need identity, like somehow to share where you're coming from.
Yes.
Somehow I want to listen to your song and know Uru Munyarwanda. You see, I want to know that. I want you to give me a song, even if you just give me one phrase, but I really want to know where you're coming from. And I think I found it something, it does make sense. Does make sense, because if I do music and people keep thinking you're an American, I'm not from America, I'm from Rwanda. So I think it's amazing. And also, it's a strategic way to also really share the message and for people to identify where the ministry is actually coming from. Just as you say, oh, I know this one from there, oh, I know this one that they also know from Rwanda. And I sing a message they also listen to. So I think that's more of why I do mix languages. However, it's not all the time. There's some songs I don't mix. There's some songs I just wanted pure English or pure Kinyarwanda, because I think I want to be more intimate with certain people that God has put on my heart to talk to through the song. Yeah.
Is there anyone who have influenced your sound, like the way you sound, like maybe growing up, and maybe someone looked up to, and they have maybe shaped maybe your genre, maybe your sounds, maybe like the way your style?
Well, I don't think I have someone particular. Well, we have I have our auntie, who was called Auntie Barbara Kayaga. She's a Ugandan, and she's the one who trained us from when we were young, very young. And I think we were taught to be we didn't have any type of style, so we were taught to do different things. So we could do traditional, we do some American songs, we do some Zulu songs, some Brenda Fassie songs. So we were taught to just be that diverse. And I think through that, I am a very diverse individual. Like the music I listen to, I go all around. You won't find me like there's this artist in Jewenzi Ahora Yomva Kabisa, that one is the one. No. So I listen to a lot of music. So I wouldn't say there are specific people, but I know that some people I listen to and be like, man, I love how they do that stuff. I love their ministry. I love the music. I'm like, yeah. And fun fact, the type of songs I listen to are actually not the type of songs I sing.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Yeah, I was telling you, I'm listening to K strings.
Yeah,
I'm listening to, Sun Misol, if that's how they call her, they say her name. I mean, I'm listening to all these different artists, but if you listen to my style, it's nowhere compared to that style. True, So yeah.
So how do you do it, to remain in your own genre and not be influenced by all those songs you listen to, all those artists you listen to, but still you still have your uniqueness, remain into it, because sometimes it's not easy.
True.
One of the things I know about influence and being shifted from what you're doing, it's mostly what you see.
Yes.
Of course, what you see, you admire it, and later sometimes you find it has some part in you.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you maintain to remain you, authentic with your own genre?
Well, to me, music is about communication. It's about a transfer of a certain message and communicating. So And when I'm listening to all these different songs,
Yes, yes.
first of all, I care a lot about the communication and how I'm being communicated to through the song.
Yeah.
It's not really just because you sing a certain genre or a certain style. I don't listen to people because of certain styles. I listen to their songs because of the way they are communicating to me. So for me, as I don't have a certain specific genre, but I know some special things for me. Storytelling, right? Storytelling is very special for me. Authenticity is very special for me, right? So, and when you're being authentic, you're not being a fake version of yourself,
Yeah, true.
right? When you're being authentic, that's just you.
That's it.
You understand? I'm not trying to be strategic according to the market. I think this is what is trending, and I'm gonna give you.
do that.
You
That's
understand?
okay.
That's not me. That's not me. I'm trying to be authentic to share what is deeply inside me. So all these styles I do, sometimes I write a song, and I'm like, this one would be best if I delivered it with some violins and some, some kind of choir version of a song, right?
Yeah,
And other times I'm writing a song and I know this can be best communicated in a piano, So I wanna now get it, I need to be hype. So it's really more of how do I want to communicate to the person, not trying to get every way I want to communicate it into Afrobeat. You see, because that's what happens when you have a genre.
Yeah.
When you have a genre, is that if you have a style, every song you write, you must find a way
It has
to
go-
fit it into
yes.
Afro.
Afro, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Every way you have to find it to fit pop, and I think that limits my creativity.
Yeah, true.
And it limits me being authentic and sharing that message in the best way I know. I'm sitting in the studio, I'm like, yes, exactly, this is what I want.
I feel like that's the wider way. Like sing it has a way of communication.
Yes.
Now, imagine like if someone comes to you and every time they communicate to you in one tone, like when someone is arguing with you, it's one tone. When someone is trying to persuade you,
I like that.
it's one tone. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you can feel like this thing is boring.
I know, and not even boring. I mean, it dilutes the message.
Yeah, true.
It dilutes the message because sometimes you're thinking something about depression, something about and then you put it into an Afrobeat. Man, come on, chill me down, take
Yeah.
this slowly. I want to listen to it, chill. I want to sit down. I want to sit in my room. I want to pray with the song. I want to play the song and pray along the song because you have that message and you've put it in a style that goes with what you're telling me. So now it's easier for me to really, really connect. Yeah.
Let's come back to recycle. What's the story? Like the story behind recycle? Because I'm pretty sure. I saw you. There's a post you posted about it, and you said it's not for the perfect or for the people who've made it there.
Yes.
It's for those people who are in progress.
Yes.
Who are still a work in progress.
Yes.
But what was the story like? The story of the song.
Yes. So recycle. So I had a season in my life when I was an addict. And this is not something very many people know because it's not like addicting drugs and addict to any girls or anything, because these are the public things people see.
Yes,
People see that guy is addicted to that. But no, it was me and a sudden behavior that I just had that I couldn't let go. Like every time I could probably say, now, you know what, I won't do this again, I won't behave like this again, and then by Monday I'm back again. By what day I'm back again, and I got so tired. The beat that I sang in that song was made by Aguila and produced by Junior Kaberuka. And when Aguila sent me the beat, I didn't have a message to put in there, so I've kept it like for 2 years. I've kept that thing for like 2 years because I know I could put to something, but I wanted something that really can blend in. And so I came to this point in my life when I felt like, you know what, I'm so tired. Like I'm super, super tired. I don't want to, when you're addicted to something, and people think when you say addiction, it's only drugs, it's only alcohol. You can even be addicted to
this.
Exactly, to that phone. You can be addicted to being a very jealousy person. You can be addicted to being someone who just it's this character or this thing that you do all the time, sometimes until the point you lose control over it. Right? That's what addiction is. So now I reached a time when I was super, super tired. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired, God. I'm tired. And if you listen to the song, it's a prayer. It is actually prayer, Lord, come break all these cycles. Yes. On my knees, it's where I am. Kumavini Hondi. I am tired. I don't need recycles. Yes. And I know that God is able to do it. So I prayed over it and I started writing it. I played the instrumental and started writing it down as a prayer. Write it down as a prayer. Like the words you listen, the right there singing, that's exactly the feeling. That's exactly what I was communicating to God. And when I'm releasing a song, I am sure there is someone out there who is in the very same position, who absolutely wants to make this prayer. Maybe they are short of words. Maybe they don't know how to express it. Maybe they don't know how to say it. But I'm sure there's someone out there who wants to also say this to God. So that's how the song came about, and that's about recycles.
Those things happen to me sometimes. Like you hear someone saying something and you feel like they have given it the language.
Yes.
You can be in a place where you're even struggling with something, or maybe even have the message, and you meet someone and you feel like they have given the language, like they have given the language to something you had in you.
Yes.
You don't have the words.
Yes.
To pull out that thing.
Yes.
Like that's really a good thing.
Yeah.
And that comes to your message of mental health issues.
Yes.
Which is something that we really sometimes ignore that. Yes.
And that's a Rwandan style. Even more, I mean, it's more Rwandan to ignore it.
You can feel like, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? So, like, please shed light on that.
Yeah. Well, I think we've over the years we've not had mental health as a big statement to say. Until recently, right? Until recently, UN gives a lot of highlight on what's going on. The rates of mental health, depression, anxiety, ADHD is like going so much higher, right? And allow me to say that it has also come so up higher, more with technology, right? And it's crazier. And as people are talking to in our Rwandan context, people are really feeling lonely. People feel so lonely, even surrounded by so many people. People feel like there's these moments that someone will share you a story and you wonder, like, do you live with people? Like, do you talk to some people? And this person tells you, I'm always in parties. People are always partying. They go to parties. But there's an empty gap. There is a void in them that is not filled, that is super, super empty, right? And you wonder, what could fill that? Like, what are you trying to do? And I tell you, probably, man, you're like, but then how do you feel the next morning? You're depressed again, then you go back. Then it's a very, very, like very contemporary, like very small time that you're gonna feel whatever you're feeling, if it's called uri high, right? But the honest part is, there's no better solution than Christ. There's just no better solution than Christ.
That's where recycle comes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So these recycles come in that point of yabira bintu buri gushaka kwisi umunezero ngo peace, you want joy, you want all these things, you're trying to find them in shortcuts. My next song, by the way, might be almost about that. Just a hint, right?
They should say.
My next song is really around that hint, because people are looking for things where they're not.
True.
People are looking for joy where it's not found. Just temporary happiness, temporary feeling good, temporary peace. I mean, it's not where it is. Come to God, come to the point of prayer, come to the point of reading the word, come to the point of literally diving deeper into the word and just knowing what God is saying to you, not only through your pastor, through you reading your word and understanding, and your personal time with God. There's sometimes I withdraw from praying with people.
Yes.
Like I really withdraw. Like I don't want anything to do with community-based prayers. And I feel like I need a lot more time with myself and God, because that's that space.
I feel like you need to talk on this part, because like one of the place of prayer in gospel artists, because I know you. I have seen you as an intercessor even at church. That place, because being honest, many gospel artists, they don't pray. They don't have that. You don't have to be serious like that way. You don't have to be a spiritual ninja. So what's that? How has like that place of that sacred place like influenced even like your journey of music, your journey of being an artist, a gospel artist?
I love the word "in the secret place." I have a song called "In the Secret Place." It's not out. But there's something beautiful about "In the Secret Place," because the things you say when you're alone with someone that you'll definitely not say when there's a third party. You know what I'm saying? The things that God will tell you when you are two without a third party. You know what's happening around here is that so many people, are looking for their message, for their comfort from the third person, from somewhere with the third people. But God has so much loved communicating to people in a two-directional communication. When God used to use prophets much to talk, people were far from him. Understand?
Yes.
Like so many days when God in the Bible decided to talk through prophets, it was because people were starting to drift away. Look at the point when Israel started to have the first king, Saul, right?
Yes.
Who Samuel anointed, right? Literally came from a point where people were starting to say, you know what? We also need a king.
We also need a king.
But they had a king. God was their king in that time, directly there for them, right? But they started to feel, no, not good. We need something. We need someone to sit on that seat. You see what I'm saying? So we are still sort of rotating around that place where we still need someone to sit in that seat.
That's it. Yeah.
But he did everything, sent his son. God doesn't die. God doesn't die. But he accepted the deal. He's like, you know what? We're going to die for these people. For an actual renewed relationship.
Yes, again, one by one.
Exactly, a one by one. So, the best place to have that thing is a you and God. Is a you and God communication. I remember I used to pray like, when I finished high school, I used to wake up at 3 a.m. and go to pray, and I couldn't exceed 10 minutes of prayer. And I would come and be like, dear Jesus, I'm like, boom, done. I gotta go back to bed, right? And it's like a relationship, brother. It's like a relationship. The more you get to know me, the more you feel like you have more words to tell me. You feel like we have more to talk about. You have more things to tell me about because you get to know more of me, And that's how it is with the relationship with God. You want to know more about him. That's more you get to speak to him. Now it's not praying, it is speaking to God. You speak with God.
Yes.
I think that's where the beauty of prayer comes in.
I love this. Just by the way you're explaining, it's life, like prayer is life. And this takes me like, I feel like I'm intrigued. Like, what's your prayer when you step in the studio? Like, what's that prayer that you have in your heart?
Transformation. My prayer is transformation. My prayer is that, we release songs and they come out, and we artists we invest a lot to market, and when God brings a team, a manager, whatever to support the ministry, puts in some money. and operates. But now, just hearing compliments of, man, I love your voice, man. Yeah, your voice, my brother, it's so amazing. And another one is like, man, the music was so dope. To me, I feel it's so vague sometimes when I'm not getting one thing of, this was point A and this is where I am after listening to the song. I feel like I've wasted a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So every time I enter the studio and I'm gonna do a song, excuse me.
Yes.
Every time I enter the studio and I'm gonna do a song, even when I'm writing it, actually, I'm so much into, Lord, how transformational, how can this song change a life? How can this song communicate to a heart? And they really listen to it and feel this is it. When I'm scripting, when we're doing our videos, if you watch my videos, they're really different. And I take risks. I take risks. Like for this one, I did take some crazy risks, my brother. I knew like some people are gonna fire me. I take risks because that's what storytelling is all about.
So the lady.
We see God.
Like everything.
Thank you. You see, I take risks, and to me, that's the story. I want to tell you the story. Every time when my videographer is editing, he can edit so many very wonderful things, and Noxzera is very wonderful. I'm listening, I'm watching, but I'm always so focused, how is the story being told? If I can't get the story, then all these beautiful and wonderful clothes we have bought are useless.
Yeah.
Just selling good images, good vibes. That's not what we're selling. We're selling a story. We're selling something about God, transformation. So that's the point. That's the prayer. Every time I think about my songs, every time I think about what I'm going to do, every time opportunities come, a manager comes, I want to sign you. Cool. But hold on. I want to know about my creative process. If you're taking control of that, I'm scared. Because that means you're going to dilute my communication. Yeah. And I want it to be so authentic. So authentic. Yeah.
What do you think? We talked about creatives. What do you think God is doing in the creative industry these days?
These days? People are not ready. I don't think people are ready. Yeah, I don't think people are ready, because what is happening?
You can see this.
What is happening is God is bringing to us back the knowledge of knowing that everything was created for Him and by Him. Because what the devil did was very clever. Let me tell you how. This guy has been so clever to come and convince to us that so many things we Christians are not allowed to do actually are meant for him, the secular industry, and not for us.
Yeah.
So we decided to stick with certain styles of music, certain ways of a video, certain ways of writing, because that's what we said. This is the one for God. But what was created for the devil? There was nothing. He stole everything. He stole everything and branded it like him. He stole everything and branded it in his own style. Right? And we were only left with no options. And what the God is doing now is he's raising a generation that is super aware that that was also ours.
Yeah, true.
Afrobeat was ours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these beats, there's not beat that was created for the devil. None.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, to show you how the devil stole the most attractive ones, that's why all kids are listening to secular music.
Yeah.
You understand? Imagine taking a drill beat. Imagine taking a whole beat of Afrobeat, Afro soul, of pop, and write some lyrics, biblical lyrics. I have decided to follow Jesus. You know, Gaze Baba just released that one. Elijah level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, take that beat and write some real prophecy, man.
Yeah.
Moses Bliss is doing that.
The guy is doing.
You know, Lee Krez are doing that.
This guy is it Forrest Frank.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? These guys are all doing this. My brother in Burundi, Aguila, and his Milli Souls team, they're doing this in Burundi.
Yeah.
Rwanda, we are a little bit lagging behind, but I'm telling you this year, call me back for an interview in December. It will be crazy.
I wait to be accountable.
Yes. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So I think God is raising a generation that understands there was nothing made for the devil. It was all ours before he took it. And it's time to claim our things, to claim what we have, and actually start branding them in a God way. I was talking to some people recently on Monday in my cell group at church, and I was telling them that I don't know why the devil has sold to us mediocrity. I totally do not understand it. I don't understand how he sold to us that poverty is a normal thing. I don't get it. I don't know how he sold to us that being a follower, not a leader, is a normal thing. I don't know how he did that. I don't know how he sold to us all billionaires must be pagans. I don't know how he sold that to us. Because the last time I remember, Solomon was the richest guy. The last time I remember, Solomon was the wisest guy. The last time I remember, David was the king. The last time I remember, Samuel was someone kings used to consult for ideas. That's the last time I remember. So I don't remember when it shifted for us to be the followers, not the leaders. I was talking to these guys and they're talking about, now how can we influence? We can influence technology. But you know why we've been too weak? Because we are solving problems for a very small, tiny community. When we talk about the kingdom, we mean this world. This is God's kingdom. These are God's people. So if we can birth more solutions for the people, we are doing more for the kingdom. That means we can come with our own Google. We could have come up with our own Google that has no pornography, brother. You understand? But because our innovation has been, I don't know what happened with our thinking we are mediocres, we should stay under.
Things of this world.
You know what I'm saying? Feeling we are under, we should be led. Everyone is innovating new things to spoil our minds, our children, our communities, and we accept that. So the idea of being sold the mediocrity, me, I'm tired of it. Art that is fake, small music videos. No. We are ready for quality. Deliver quality, deliver the best video, my brother. The best song, the best production. Don't tell me this thing. You see, God is the one who sells the song. He gave me the assignment. I want to tell you that, my brother. You understand? He gave me the assignment. That's why he put that knowledge, the art, the creativity, man, the way to deliver your message. You understand? That's why you got to study theology. You understand? It's because even when you're preaching, even when you're speaking, you want to say some things that you actually understand, right? So I'm not buying into the idea of mediocrity in the Christian community. Our branding, our churches, our media houses, poorly branded, poorly, bad graphics, bad logos, everything is. We are called to present kingdom perfection.
What can we do?
What can we do?
Yes.
First, submit more to God, right? Understand his character of loving good things, because he loves good things.
Excellence.
He loves excellence. He's not a God of mediocrity. He is not. Understand? We need to understand that, right? And 3, work towards understanding and learning. Somehow, because this is what happened, and even in our communities, what has been happening in our churches, closing up churches and all these things, is the fact that of thinking when you're spiritual, you don't have to learn. No. It's not.
To error.
Yes. You see? No, you have to learn.
Yeah.
You have to grow. You have to know more. Pray and learn. So if we had removed learning from our schedule as Christians, add it more. Learn, read, understand the trends, what's going on, and we discover how can we leverage this for the good of the kingdom. How can we use the technology? How can we use the trends? How can we use these things, in fact, for us to shift culture? How can we do that? If we do these 4 things, hello.
What can you talk to a person who says, don't listen to my voice?
Oh, wow. We listen, we don't judge.
By the way,
I feel like that's what the person is saying. Listen, don't judge.
Don't judge. Don't listen about the voice. Don't just the words.
Wow.
The words.
It's like bringing to me an app, right?
Yes.
An application solving breast cancer issue, and then you tell me when you see it cracking a little bit, it's bring some bugs. Don't mind. That one is so well. Man, you're coming to solve the biggest problem we have right now, breast cancer and other diseases, and you're telling me when I look at your app and it has a small problem, I don't mind? It is a big case. That means it can solve the problem in a wrong way.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, for anyone who thinks about that, who listen to my voice and don't mind, that's scam. I'm sorry to say, that is scam.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't mean this for just church attendees or normal people. No, I mean this person who is saying, I want to be an artist, I want to release music, I want to be a worship leader. If that's what you're saying, no, that's not okay.
Yes.
Learning is part of it.
True.
Learn, grow. People are learning.
Yeah.
I mean, why do secular artists invest in learning these things? We should be top notch. For us, we should be top notch, kabisa. Yes. So I think let's not throw down the idea of learning, and let's not throw down the idea of submission to God.
Yes.
And understanding Him truly, not being sold some other ideas that He's just there to be a spiritual world. Everything is spiritual. Even learning is spiritual, right? Learn, grow, because He teaches. He makes those things stick in our head.
Yes.
If He didn't decide that, it would not stick. Right? So learn, not only for voices. Anything you do, man, learn, grow, attend some courses, take some courses, pay for some courses. It's okay. Pay for some courses, go learn, know how to do it, and then come and apply it, and even if the Bible doesn't talk a lot about, they don't have school and all these things, but we can see so many instances when God had to take people through a waiting process to first teach them, to first prepare them, to first take them through a process. That was God's way of lessons. That was God's way of courses. You see? So we need to understand that. Even
the
God,
disciples being disciples.
absolutely, the whole season of 3 years, that was not a waste of time.
Bachelors.
Yeah, that was a crazy bachelor's degree, my brother.
Because I believe, according to curriculums, like every curriculum ascribed something.
Yes.
And those guys, when they were done with the curriculum, everyone could see them and see Christ.
Exactly. Yeah. And they graduated.
Yeah, true.
In the upper room.
Yeah. You see, like, when they stood in their court,
yeah,
the king said, these people, they've never gone to school. But the way they speak, they are smart. And the Bible says, they remembered that they walked with Jesus.
Yes.
You see, they are learning.
Yes, they're learning.
They are learning.
That's the point.
Talking about that, this takes me back on your first song.
Yes.
Because you could see, the Bible says, the small beginnings. But that was not a small beginning.
Yeah.
Again, that was not a small beginning.
Yeah.
First song on my side.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know, like, that video took how many hours?
Wow. Well,
even to come up with that idea of how that, like, of that art express that message.
Yeah. Well, man, first I'll say I was blessed to have an amazing team. Like, that's one thing for sure. Now, you can have an amazing team that have amazing skills, but you, the artist, right? So every idea they bring you through, like,
they say
that's not.
It's garbage in, garbage out.
You see? Yeah. So the whole idea. So first was a very good team. Enoch Zera has done my videos since the very beginning, and as I told you, storytelling is a very big part for me. So in that song, I remember I knew I wanted to do something different. That's one. I knew I wanted to communicate something as you watch that video. And I knew God has blessed us with so many talents of art. design, makeup, all these things. All these things can be used for His glory. It's just that we've decided to use them in the other way around, rather than actually using them for kingdom. So I brought together all these guys, lighting, makeup, and all these things to just make up something that will tell a story as I did that. So and didn't have a lot of investment. I didn't have a lot of money. That was a lot of the team, more a lot of on the inspiration. Inspiration comes from God. It's not anything anything from anywhere. He gives you this whole idea of how to tell something. How can we do this? How can we craft it? So I think on my side, which was released I think 2021, right? So the first song I released as C, I think is that was a really piece of art. Really, now that I remember it, I'm like, he did some work, man.
That was
funny enough. You went to watch it. That's crazy.
That was work. How you could stay on my side and someone is carrying you, like taking you on the chair. Like, hey, it had a lot of things.
Yeah. So I think there's nothing much for me. Like really, it's me just knowing God giving me the idea of and inspiration, but also an amazing team to put things together. And I think this teaches us something as young people, where we like to do things on our own.
Yeah.
We are not able without people.
Yeah, of course.
You're seated here, someone is recording.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now come here and say, I don't want any people. Me, I want to do it myself. Yeah. It won't work. You see? So the beautiful of the idea, and we as young people, we need to understand this beautiful thing that God created. We are we depend on each other. We depend on each other, and that's what God meant for relationships. That's why things where two or one are gathered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things work out, right? So I think that's also the beauty, and that's how that video was able to come to life, and all these other videos that I've done so far.
Yeah. Do you think of concerts?
Concerts. Don't make me break the ice and break the secrets. But otherwise, too early to say some secrets things. But yes, I think of concerts. I do have some ideas.
Yes.
We shall tell you when time comes.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Yes, but yes, I'm thinking of something. Our team is just praying about it, talking about it, and we are thinking of something nice.
What can you tell any young man, any young girl who wants to maybe start they feel the inspiration, they feel they are good, even they have worked on their voice, they have the songs, but they feel like provision is a big thing. Mm-hmm. How would you encourage them in this journey of gospel industry?
Yeah. One thing we are lacking in the kingdom, risk takers.
Yes.
We hear all these entrepreneurs saying, we have called them motivational speakers, right?
Yeah.
Are speaking from where they started. Yeah. The truth is, brother, that's where they started. They're not forming up a story for you to encourage you. The problem is that one who forms up a story just to encourage you. But these ones are an entrepreneur, and all these people are saying something where they started from.
Yeah.
Talk about pastors, talk about how churches started, talk about how Pastor Charles started African New Life. It's from very tiny, small beginnings. So, and we young people have sort of bought into the idea because of movies we've been sold to, the entertainment we've been sold to, that things must start up here. That's not how it starts. It starts really down here, what you're able to do. When I was watching this preaching by Steve Furtick, I don't remember the title, but I got one thing: the next best thing. You might not be able to do the best thing now.
Yes.
But what is the current best thing you can do?
Yeah.
Do that. If the current best thing you can do, right, is go to a studio of 20K, and it's the current best thing, you have done all you can, go. You know, if the current best thing you have is this car producer who is starting out, because you know, you've heard so many things. You're like, man, me, I want this kind of song, man. You see when you listen to Siren Bonyi, when you listen to Penzy, that music.
That's the one I want.
My brother.
You're comparing your 1 year with 20 years of someone.
They started somewhere.
Yeah.
Bonyi started somewhere in Israel, in his car room, playing his kagita. I mean, in India, sorry. You know, playing his kagita, releasing some songs sometimes, and people didn't understand him. People wouldn't listen to his music. Everyone started somewhere.
Yeah.
Penzy sold the concert and did a concert. People entered with paying 100. How many understand? People started somewhere. So what I tell to someone, anyone listening who wants to start up something, either business, either music as you asked, just begin from the best thing you can do. Keep the dream lighted up. Keep the dream right up. When you talk to people, don't sell them what you're doing now, because that's not your vision. When you talk to people, tell them where you're going.
Yeah.
People support where you're going, not where you are.
Yeah.
So tell them that big vision, tell them that big thing, but again, start.
Yes.
Yeah.
In winding up, where
Yes.
can we find you?
I'm everywhere. Spotify,
Yes.
iTunes, YouTube, Pandora. I've been everywhere. Social media, Instagram, Facebook,
Mems.
C Music, SEEMUZIK, SEEMUZIK. Everywhere, if you search that name, even on Google. Man, I didn't know you can find me on Google. You know?
Yeah.
Google has my profile. So there you can find me. And we shall find more even physical places to find us, worship areas,
Yes.
some good concerts, as you said, you know. And let's go to church.
Thank you, man.
Yes, man. Thank you, brother, for having me.